Hey, what's going on guys? I am back with another amazing tutorial. So in this tutorial, I will teach you guys how to create this awesome looking text changing animation from scratch using only HTML and CSS. And as always, I will explain each and every single step. So make sure you don't skip any part of this tutorial. Also, I regularly upload this kind of awesome tutorials on my channel, so I will must recommend you to subscribe the channel and join me in this web development journey. Let's start creating the rotating text animation. So you can see I had opened the output here. So let's see how to write the markup for this awesome text changing animation. So I will use h1 tag for this text. So I will write h1 here and I will give it a class of changing text, and inside that I will first include the static text, that is I am a, and then for the dynamic text I will use a container for them. So I will use div and I will give it a class of text container, and inside the text container I will write a span, and this span will contain all the dynamic text. Okay, so the very first text that I want to include is programmer, and I want the other text to start from the next line, so I will use the br tag, and I want the second text to be designer and I will use the br tag again, and I want the third text to be creator, again the br tag, and the last one will be freelancer. Okay, so now you can see we got our all the text, and with that our HTML part is completed. Now let's start creating that animation using CSS. First of all, I will target the body tag and I will give it a background color of 131313, and I will remove the default margin given by the browser, so I will make the margin 0, and now I will center the h1 within our body using the flex method. So first of all I will give it a height of 100 vh, and now I will use the flex method to center our h1 within the body. So I will write display flex and justify content center to align our h1 horizontally center, and align items center to center our h1 vertically center. Okay, so the h1 is in center now, and now let's start styling the h1. So I will target the h1 using the class selector, and let's give some styling to our h1. So first of all I want the text transform of our h1 to be uppercase, and I will change the color to white, and I want the font family to be Vardhana, and also I want the font size to be 40 pixel. Okay, so we are done with our h1. Now let's start styling our text container, which is containing our dynamic text. Okay, so I will target the text container, and now what I want is I want the text container to be in the same line in which I am a is. Okay, so it is starting from the next line. As you can see, the text container is starting from the next line, and that is because it is a div element, and div is a block level element, and the block level element starts from the next line. Okay, so you will have to either convert it to inline element or inline block level element. Okay, so I will convert it to inline block element. And why I had converted it to inline block and not inline is because I also want to give it a fixed height. Okay, so height doesn't get applied to inline elements, and that is why I had converted it to inline block elements. And now I will give it a fixed height. So I will give it a height of 40 pixel, that is same as our font size. And now I will also give it a border so that we can see the text container properly. And now you can see the text container. And now to create the animation, what we have to do is we have to move our span element in the upward direction with such a value that first the programmer gets aligned with I am a, and then the designer gets aligned with I am a, and then creator, and then the freelancer. Okay, so we have to animate our span elements in the upward direction so that every single text gets aligned with our static text, that is I am a, perfectly. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I will target the span inside the text container, and I will write the animation property shorthand, and I want the animation name to be move up, and I want the animation duration to be 8 seconds, and I want to run the animation infinite times. And now I will define the animation using the keyframes at rule, and I will write the animation name. And now let's start creating the animation. So initially, that is at 0%, I don't want to move my span element. Okay, so I will pass 0 to our translate y. Okay, since we don't want to move our span element at 0%. Now at 25%, I want to move my span element in the upward direction, so I will pass a negative value in translate y. Now I want to move it up by 25%, so I will pass negative 25%. And now why I had used 25% is because we have 4 number of text here. Okay, so by moving them up by a margin of 25%, they will get perfectly aligned with our static text, that is I am a. Okay, so don't worry, you will understand it much better when we will complete the animation. Okay, so at 25% I want to move my span element in the upward direction by 25%. Okay, so if you want to move it in the downward direction, you can use positive value. We want to move it in the upward direction, that's why we had used the negative value. Okay, so now at 50%, I want to move my span elements in the upward direction by 50%, so I will use minus 50%. And similarly, we have to again move our span element in the upward direction, so at 75%, I will move it upward by 75%. Okay, and now at 100%, what I want is I want the programmer text again. Okay, so I will write the initial value of transform property, so I will copy and paste it here. And now we had defined the animation, but you can still see that animation is not getting applied to our span elements, though we have defined everything perfectly. So what is the reason behind it? Why the animation is not working? And this is the thing you have to remember, that transform property doesn't get applied to inline elements. Okay, so span is an inline level element and transform property doesn't get applied to inline level elements, and that's why you can't see any animation going on here. And these are the little things that are not mentioned in most of the tutorials. You will get to know this kind of little tricks when you will create and practice such projects. I remember when I was creating this animation, I was stuck at this point and I searched on the internet that why transform property is not working. And on a random blog site, I got to know that transform property doesn't get applied to inline level elements. So you will get to learn a lot of amazing stuffs when you will start creating projects on your own. Now coming back to the video, to make the transform property work on the span element, you will have to either convert it to inline block element or block level element. So I will convert it to block level element by using the display property, and I will write block here. And now you can see the animation is working. And now the final touch is to basically hide the overflowing part of our text container. Okay, so you just have to pass overflow hidden in the text container, and now you can see our animation is completed. Now let's also change the color of our dynamic text. So I will pass FF7A00 color, and I will also remove the border. Okay, so you can see now our animation is completed. Now to make it a bit more better, what you can do is you can increase the translate y value by 1%, I will increase the translate y value by 1%, and now you can see our animation is completed and it is looking amazing. So this was it guys. Look how easily we created this awesome text changing animation. You can include it in the hero section of your website and it will look great there. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and understood every single step. But still, if you have any doubts related to any step, just feel free to comment your doubts below. I will keep uploading more such awesome tutorials, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel. And before ending this video, let me tell you guys that this YouTube channel is in collaboration with an amazing platform known as Newton School. So let's understand a bit about what exactly is Newton School.
Let's see about what is Newton School. So Newton School is a platform which prepares you for your career in tech. It has courses designed for working professionals, freshers and even people with no tech background. That means even if you are from a non-tech background, you can also join this platform and can make your career in tech. Newton School will first train you for 6 months and will help you become an amazing full stack developer. Now you might be thinking whether this platform is free or not. So let me tell you a cool thing, that you don't have to pay Newton School anything until and unless you are placed with a minimum 5 lakh CTC. I repeat guys, you don't have to pay Newton School anything for the 6 months full stack developer training until and unless you are placed with a minimum 5 lakh CTC. And I think this is something that all of us should expect from any training program. So must check out their website for more information. I will provide the link in description. Now on their website you can see they have something called the Launchpad. So Launchpad is basically an initiative taken by Newton School for people who want to start their coding journey from scratch, and that too absolutely free of cost. This video of mine will be also available on the Launchpad section. You can go there anytime and you can learn basics of programming languages, you can practice quizzes and even you can do assignments. These all things are completely free to do.
And now I will see you guys in the next tutorial.